So when I moved to a city, even as a younger person, I always felt like you're a new person in this space. You have to do and observe what's happening in this space and see and kind of like go to different people, hang out with them, see the vibes. When I was in high school, that looked like just going to class or like hanging out with certain teammates or whatever. But like see where your pockets of people are, see what the fuck is going on, and then go from there. So the same thing happened when I moved to Detroit. I'm like, I need to, who are the people here who are doing things that I like, that I enjoy, that I see myself as a person to like either help or support them, or that I want to be doing similar things, like kind of like idols or mentors. And I actually in that process found, like, you also move to a place, you gotta find like your hair person, your wax person, your nail person, your service providers. You gotta, that's like before you even move to the place, you like, who is over there in that area that I know who could do my stuff. So Jaleesa is the hair mistress. She has a hair salon called Divine in Farmington Hills.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to Jew. I found her when I was still in Ann Arbor, and she was doing my hair at the time. I was similar hair as I have now. I was like just growing it back from cutting it all off. And she was like good as fuck at doing color. Like she could do any fucking thing. And I felt like at that time in Detroit, it was hard to find a hairstylist who like knew how to do my type of hair any kind of way I wanted. From faux locks to cornrows to blonde hair color to blowout to press, to being able to cut it how I wanted. So like I started going to her, and through her I met D-Lo. And do you know D-Lo Brown? Or are you familiar?
I know of her. I don't know her.
Okay.
So.
We love D-Lo as well.
We do.
So I met D-Lo Brown, and while I was going to Jaleesa, like I'm communicating. This is somebody I'm like, this is my hairstylist. You start telling your hairstylist certain things. Like you might share your dreams and visions, just chatting it up. Like Jaleesa had just moved to Detroit like a year before me, or she moved to Michigan a year before me. And so she was kind of going through a similar space of like, I'm trying to figure out who my friends are and where do I want to be in the city and what do I want to do and what are my goals for myself. So we like built a relationship from communicating about that. And I'm telling her, I really want to do this photo thing. I'm trying to do videography. I'm trying to like get in this bag. So she like, eventually she has this event. It's like a 24-hour hairathon. And and she did that shit. And she was like, I want you to do the content for it. And I'm like, oh my God, you want me to do the content for it? She was like, yeah. And then she was like, I have a call with the host. The host was Jen. So me and Jen both at that time were living in Ann Arbor, which was ironic. And then the event was like at that time in Detroit. We're in Southfield. Yeah, and Jaleesa was in Detroit. So we get on this FaceTime call, and that's my first time meeting Jen. And Jen and I like worked together for that event. We connected on Instagram. I think like immediately just liked each other's vibe. And then one day she asked me about coming to her show. Just, I think this is what she would tell it. She was just asking me to come as her friend and just be there. But me, I ain't never been on no set, and I'm just there. So I immediately like, oh, let me get your hair together. Or, oh, can I steam this? Or, oh, can I do this? Or like, oh, I think we should, change the angle on this. And shout out to Barry for not like being like, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is my set, my show, my production. Like, are you creating my network? And Barry just kind of like welcomed me in. Jen kind of welcomed me and was like, do you want to do this on a regular basis? And I'm like, yeah, I would love to help with this. Like, I want to be in production. I want to be a writer. I want to be a director. This is excellent experience. I already like you as a person. And so like our friendship evolved as we like worked together over time.
No, that's dope.
Yeah.
I think that
that was a long way of telling that story.
No, and that look, when you flesh it out and map it out like that, we like things like that because it gives more the connection and it makes it feel more real to understand. Yeah. A lot of people can actually connect with that. And that's huge because honestly, the same way kind of like me and Derek started out was that we first met at Dreamville, the very first one in 2019, and it was like a high end bar type of thing. And then in 2020, he asked me for meal plans. I was like, I'm not doing that no more. But I got an idea for you. I got this. And so he was like, I've never shot food before, but I'm interested. And so we were working with the idea and the concept. And at that point in time, I didn't know what I really wanted to do with it until this is where we're at now. So shout out to him for sticking with it, and shout out to continuing to work with me on this show. And it's been a beautiful partnership. And I think that is the same way as you look at Jen. It's a beautiful partnership and a great friendship in terms of how you guys have started, how it's continue to go and continue to grow. And I like for that, I want to say with Ask Jen, did you finally, well, recently you finally found it, like your wings, but did you start to like really see the wings in the sense when you were on the show for Ask Jen and start doing a lot more of that?
I would say I didn't feel it until, like, in regards to Ask Jen show, until we had the Mia Ray episode.
Okay.
We had the Mia Ray episode. Jen asked me if I would help her with, like, really helping to put together the pre-production of, like, how she wanted to lay out her questions, how she wanted to tell the story, and just making sure, because Mia was such a big guest, and it was I think at that time, it was the biggest guest the Ask Jen show had. And one of her most viewed episodes still to this day. And so, like, that she just took it with a lot of seriousness, and she was like, okay, I know you usually like review some of the questions and give me a little feedback, but like, you know, we gotta really make sure we do not waste this opportunity. So any people that I can get to like make sure it's thorough, like I want to do that. And so I just came in and did what I did. And like the episode, like I remember it filming and there being certain questions that she was asking, and I'm like, oh, I know that was like my influence a little bit, or like that was the conversation, and just even the way it flowed, how put together it was. I was like, these are like, she applied some of my notes, and she listened to me. Jen respected me enough and my craft enough to know, like, when I was giving that feedback, it was coming from a place of love and a place of like, I want this to be the best, because that's what she asked me to do. So it made me feel like this person that I love and care about sees me enough to know, like, not only is this a big opportunity for her, but she wants to pull her homegirl into that opportunity a little differently than what I normally do on the show, to like help her, but also to put me in a position to win as well. Like that episode was a win for all of us on that crew. I was about to say Jerry. I always do that with Jen and Barry. I always say their names together like that. Jen, Barry, JG, myself, like that was a win for all of us in so many different ways. And I just felt like, I remember leaving that episode feeling like, oh yeah, like that hard work that I did, the understanding of like somebody asking and seeing in me like how I add value. You considered me enough to use one of your biggest moments at the time on Ask Jen show to like ask me to do this. Yeah, like, yeah, I feel good knowing how many viewers got that episode, the opportunities that even came from that episode. I didn't know it at the time, but I just felt like, oh, we're moving in a certain kind of way. Like, who I am who I say I am.
Exactly. You know? I think that like you gotta have that confidence to do anything you do. You gotta, and I tell my girlfriends all the time, you gotta be able to have that. You gotta reassure yourself, that you're doing what you're doing for a purpose, and that confidence. Yeah. And for that, I think that, what do you think is, now that you are multifaceted, and what do you like the most to do when it comes to all the different talents that you have, in a sense, for yourself? Is it the directing, writing, producing, marketing?
It's kind of all of it. And I feel like I've developed the skills over time because I needed them at certain points in time, not knowing what I needed them for. But now that I've launched my own brand, Hey Me First, and it's like a product centered brand, I'm like, oh, I needed to be able to take photos. I needed video experience. I needed digital marketing experience. I needed brand manager experience. I needed how to tell a story. I have my own show, Heavy on the Feelings. Like, I needed this experience writing for somebody else and kind of practice, so that, like, because with other people, it is serious. And I do I'm very strict on my job. Like, I'm serious about the work that I do. But it's also like, when you do it for yourself and you're playing every role, it's like the training wheels are off. Because when you do it for somebody else, there's usually other people.
It's the structure.
And there's a structure where there's like supports. When you're by yourself, the training wheels are off. It's just you or nothing. Yeah.